And Chris has a problem. He's in love with someone who's quite literally half his age. Now, Chris has a great life. He's a former rugby player, but he's retired from that and he now works as a high school PE teacher. But then one day, Chris gets a little crush on this girl. The girl is a student at the school he teaches at. We'll just call her Student. Now, at this time, Chris is about 30 years old, while Student is 16.
Damn. She's like half your age, bro.
Oh, but it gets worse. Chris is obsessed with Student. He's always leaving little love notes in her bag, asking her out on dates. He's asking her to come
That could be your kid, bro.
over and babysit his kids, like as an excuse to see her. So eventually, Chris and Student, they start secretly dating. And they start getting intimate. And it's gross. And after this has been going on a while, Student starts having trouble at home, like with her parents and stuff. So Chris asks her to move in with him and be his full-time live-in.
This is Chris. How you say it? Fuck. Chris activity. I said crick.
babysitter. And she does. Here's the thing. No, Chris is actually married. Like, he already has a wife who lives with him. And we'll just call her Wife. And Wife is totally fine with a live-in babysitter at first, because she doesn't know that Chris and Student are smashing. But then she starts to figure out what's going on. And she doesn't like it one bit. So she kicks Student out of her house. And that pisses Chris off, so Chris and Wife, they start fighting about this. A lot. It's a whole mess. And poor Wife, she loves Chris so much, she tries everything she can to keep their family together. But it seems like nothing is gonna fix their broken relationship, because...
Is the whole video on TikTok? Because what's the max minutes that could be on TikTok? Is it like 10 or something? I think I've seen this.
Chris is still obsessed with Student. And while Wife is trying to work everything out and fix her marriage, Chris comes up with a plan to end this love triangle
once. Oh, he gonna kill her? Why? Nigga, just break up with her. Don't kill her.
Once and for all. Now, the details of exactly how Chris does this are unclear. But one night, he allegedly takes his wife to the coast, north of the city they live in, and there he...
Well, that's like half an hour on TikTok is crazy. Oh, okay. That makes sense.
He unalives her, and he disposes of the body. Then he goes back home and pretends like nothing happened. He just tells everyone that, well, Wife got fed up with everything and she just left town and abandoned him and her own kids, which is something Wife would never do. The very next day, after he unalives Wife, he moves Student into his house permanently. She's still 16, by the way. Then weeks go by, and Wife's family and her friends are like, where's Wife? She wouldn't just abandon her kids. This is all very suspicious. And after about 6 weeks and all this public pressure, Chris has no choice. He finally reports Wife missing. He literally tells police that she probably ran away and joined a religious cult. Anyway, 2 years
who would say something so specific? Like,
go by, and Chris officially marries Student. Because now she's 18. And to make it worse, the wedding ring he gives her was actually Wife's wedding ring, with the stones reset. So Chris and Student are now married, and they're making it work. And it seems like Chris went ahead and got away with murder. Until, after 9 years of marriage, Chris and Student get a divorce. And he must have pissed her off, because the second they...
No, she probably cheated or something. Because no way you're going to date somebody that young and expect for it to go well, like, nigga.
Divorce, Student goes to police and is like, I don't actually have proof, but I'm pretty sure Chris unalived his wife all those years ago. You should look into it. And police and prosecutors, they kind of look into it, but
she a snitch, bro. It's fucking snitching, bro.
Unfortunately, the state ultimately concludes that there's just not enough evidence to prove that Chris did anything. But from then on, every few years, prosecutors and police, they try something new to get more information to solve the case. They're calling in new witnesses, they're offering rewards for any new information. They even call in a special task force, the Unsolved Homicide Unit, and they start investigating. But still, they don't have enough evidence. And that is where this guy comes in. We'll just call him Head. And Head is an investigative
Peter Griffin
journalist, and he's been following this case for years. And at this point in the timeline, 36 years have passed since Wife
36 years
first went missing. But Head doesn't care. He wants to look into this case. So he goes to his bosses at the newspaper and he pitches this to do as a story. And he wants to do it as a podcast so he can go in depth. And his bosses give him the green light. Sure, you can do your podcast. So then Head gets his team together and he gets to work. He's he's gathering documents and tons of evidence. And after 6 months of investigating, he
takes him so damn long, God.
Finally finishes his research. And he releases the first couple of episodes of the podcast. And the series blows up. Because This case is compelling. People are way into it. The episodes are downloaded like 30 million times or something, depending on how you measure. And the case is suddenly in the zeitgeist, and now there's a ton of public interest in it. And suddenly, people start contacting him.
So right now, I forgot his name. So he was 30, now he's like 60 right now, right?
And they're coming forward with new
60.
evidence and new information. And he's not even done putting all the episodes of the podcast out yet. So Head keeps having to add all this new information to his podcast in real time. He was originally only supposed to do 8 episodes, but because of all this new information people keep bringing him, he ends up doing 17. So it's a big hit. And around...
So like 17, okay, let's see. So average is 25 minutes. 25 minutes times 17 divided by 60, because that's an hour.
On that time,
oh my God.
Special task force that had started investigating
divided by 60 is 7 hours. Man, shut your bitch ass up. Stop calling me damn monkey, nigga.
Investigating all those years before, they
7
finally
hours of the evidence.
conclude their investigation. And allegedly, due to the interest created from Head's podcast, and due to that special task force, they now have enough evidence to charge Chris with wife's murder. And after 36 years, Chris is finally arrested. And he goes to trial,
60.
and student shows up, and she testifies against him.
Bro, she's not that old. If it was like 36 years... Okay, let's do the math again. Okay. She's 18 when what kind of happened? Okay, plus... 38 years. Oh, 56. Damn.
Chris is ultimately found guilty and sentenced to 24 years.
24 years. Let's do the math again. Let's do the math again. Okay. It's because school, like, you know, I've been in school for a while, you know. Hold up. Okay. He's 60. Okay. He was 30 plus 39, 69 plus 24 years he has to do. He's gonna be 93 when he comes out. Nigga, how is the L math?
And
well, fuck you.
all this happened in Australia, so
He's gonna be around 23 or 97, I think. I don't know.
out to Australia.
All right. You see the other ones you sent me.
So this 12-year-old boy here...
I remember this nigga. Hold up. Whoa. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. You guys ain't seen nothing, bro. You guys ain't seen nothing.
Go to prison for life. Let's call him Sting. And Sting is a huge fan of pro wrestling. He loves watching WWE. His favorite was always The Rock. So one day, Sting's mom, who we'll call Mom, Mom gets a call from her friend asking if she can babysit her daughter. And the daughter we'll call Six, because she's 6. So friend asks Mom if she can babysit...
It's kind of a dumb name, to be honest, kind of dumb. 6, because he's 6.
6, and Mom's like...
Nigga, what? How am I freaky? Nigga, bro, it just Twitter, bro, it just... You know, things just pop up, you know, I can't control them, you know? Like,
of course!
It's my For You page. I can't control them.
Bring her over. So there Mom is, babysitting 6. And Sting's there too, and Mom feeds them, and then she lets them watch TV. Then she heads upstairs to lay down, leaving Sting and 6 downstairs to watch TV. And Sting, the big WWE fan, he doesn't want to watch TV. He wants to wrestle. So he and 6, they start play fighting, and he's showing her some moves. But Sting is much bigger than her. He's around 170 pounds, while she is about 50 pounds.
All these songs, bro, not me thinking I'm on the Xbox because it's fucking sound, bro.
So he's throwing her around the room, and he's like putting her in a headlock, and
damn, he's gonna kill her, bro.
He's doing all kinds of moves, and he's getting really rough. Not to mention, they're getting loud. They're getting so loud that at one point, Mom calls out for them to quiet the hell down. Now at this point, Sting and 6...
Bro, Mom, bro, she should've just checked it out, bro.
Have only been downstairs alone for about 45 minutes. And at around the 45-minute mark is when Sting goes upstairs. And he goes into his mom's room, because something's wrong. And Sting wakes his mom up and he says, Mom, 6 isn't breathing. So Mom jumps out of bed and then she rushes downstairs to check on her. And she finds 6 laying there in the living room floor, not moving, unresponsive. And Mom immediately calls 911, but unfortunately, it's too late. 6 doesn't make it. Sting had accidentally unalived her, being too rough with those wrestling moves. But then, the next day, the medical examiner performs an autopsy on Six, and she finds that Six has 35 injuries, including a cracked skull, a broken rib, all kinds of stuff. And because of that, the medical examiner rules Six's death a homicide, which means they have to charge 12-year-old Sting with murder. So then police go and arrest Sting, and he's 12, but here's his mugshot. And not only that, because of the way the laws are set up in that state, and because it's first-degree murder, they have to charge him as an adult. Which means if he gets found guilty, by law, he has to be sentenced to life. So then, boom, it's 2 years later. Sting is 14 years old now, and he's about to go on trial. So they come to Sting, and they offer him a plea deal. Plead guilty and you won't get life in prison. Instead, you'll get 3 years of juvenile detention and 10 years probation. Not a bad deal. But Sting's mom believes this is all absurd. He was just a kid playing around, he's innocent, no jury will find him guilty. So she advises Sting not to take the deal. So he turns down the plea deal, and then guess what? A jury finds him guilty of first-degree murder. So at 14 years old, Sting goes to prison for life, which makes him the youngest person in the United States to ever receive a life sentence. Oh, but it gets worse. So Sting is in a juvenile prison for 3 years, and his attorney appeals his sentence, and after 3 years, it's actually overturned, because they argue that at 14 years old, Sting was not competent to stand trial in the adult court system. And it works, so now they have to let Sting go, and then they're gonna straighten all that out, and then they're gonna retrial him. But instead of having him go through the whole trial process again, they offer him a plea deal again. Instead of going back to trial and facing life in prison, 1 year house arrest and 10 years probation. And this is a really good deal. So this time, Sting takes it. And
I
now
hope he didn't do it on purpose. Like, I think he was just playing with her, and she couldn't, like, I don't know, shit.
Now at 18 years old, he's finally walking out of prison. No life sentence, he's finally out, and he's happy, and now he has his whole life ahead of him. Until about
what?
a year later, after he's out, Sting is at
What? Bruh, nigga, you were just fine.
someone he knows apartment. And he gets this weird idea, and so he calls Domino's and orders a pizza. And when the pizza delivery man shows up, Sting suddenly, like out of nowhere, pulls out a pew-pew. And
typical black people, bro. Like, this is why I hate black people, bro. Especially Berkeley with his long ass dreads, bro.
Demands that he give him all his money. Sting has decided to rob the pizza guy.
Why?
So pizza guy's like,
rob me a pizza guy. Like, why?
This, and he
go fuck you.
runs away. And he goes back to Domino's, and he immediately calls the police. And so police, they show up to the apartment, they identify Sting, and they arrest him. Here's his mugshot. And they charge him with armed robbery, violating his parole, and a bunch of other stuff. He goes back to court, pleads guilty, and after all that, beating a life sentence and everything, he ends up getting sentenced to 30 years in prison. And all this happened in Florida, so shout out to Florida.
Nigga, what? What? Did he just say what I think he just said?
Prison. And all this happened in Florida, so
what the fuck? What, bro? What?
In Florida, so
did he just, bro? I'm gonna hire some, but you hear what I'm saying? You hear what I'm listening, right? Like,
shout out to Florida.
What?
One night, everything.
I'm not dumb, right? I just heard what he just said, right? Okay, buddy. Okay. Hold up. The next one. I'm trying to find the next one.
This TikToker, he's a football player. Let's call him OJ Simpson. And one day, OJ goes to Disney World with some of his friends. And he really wants to get on this ride. It's a motion simulator, it simulates flying, and it's gonna be so much fun. And that's when OJ and his friends decide to cut in line. And they cut in front of these people, who we'll call Harry and Hermione. So Harry and Hermione, they confront OJ about cutting in front of them, and OJ does not take it well.
We're all going to the same place. You don't give a bro. You're a
this nigga. If he's gonna talk about like him flexing, like he's in a football team, he makes millions of dollars, then what? Like, this nigga.
And then his friends jump in, and they're jerks too. Like, this guy is over here mock crying, and the blonde girl is awful.
on the wall.
And then she threatens to fight Hermione. But then OJ starts to flex that he plays football.
Play football at the University of Central Florida. Show him.
And about how much money he makes.
Boy, that's cap. Boy, that's cap.
Money, homie. I'm a business.
No, you're not, buddy.
I make money. I don't argue with people. I make money.
And the fight goes on for about 10 minutes, and they say and do a bunch of awful things. You can go watch the original. And then eventually, a manager comes and escorts them away. Oh, but the story's just beginning, because Harry and Hermione post all this footage to their Disney Enthusiast TikTok page, and it blows up. 11 million views. And people see it, and they immediately hate OJ. What a loser. I can't stand this guy. So people see this, and they see OJ acting like a jerk and saying things like,
Look me up. Google me. Google me.
and so then guess what people do? They Google him. And the first thing to come up are not his football stats, but rather several mugshots. And then, because this video is going viral, I guess people who work in the actual athletics department at the University of Central Florida, they see the video. And they tweet this, saying that dude's never been a member of our football team. Not only that, OJ apparently didn't play football for any college. The last time he played was literally back in high school. Also, surprise, surprise, they find that he's not the businessman he claims to be.
I make money, homie. I'm a
He make no fucking money.
businessman.
Because after
he's only
Googling
a black
him,
thug.
people
Yeah, Berkeley, he's only a black thug.
find that he allegedly works at Chipotle. Now, I haven't been able to confirm the Chipotle thing, but that's just what they say. Now remember, OJ's an active TikToker, so by this time, people have found his TikTok account, and they are just roasting him. So he sees all this heat, and he feels like he's got to respond, and he makes a couple of videos.
There's two sides to every story. Their side, my side, and the truth.
That's 3.
Now, he doesn't apologize to Harry and Hermione. Instead, he says he got emotional because allegedly they were calling him racial slurs.
After we turned our backs, hard racial slurs started coming out. Hard ER.
Which was never mentioned by anyone in the original video, so people aren't really buying it. He also says he never even argued with Hermione because he doesn't argue with women.
His wife was yelling at me first, and I said, I'm not going to argue with a female. I'll talk to her husband.
In fact, in the original video, he says the same thing off camera.
I'll talk to men. I'm not going to talk to females.
So all this is making him look
He did not, bro. What the fuck?
really bad, and people
Why he capping his video, bro?
are just dogpiling on him. And he eventually turns off all his comments on all his social media. And so have his awful friends, because they were getting torn apart on their social media too. So I guess, shout out to Disney World.
That's crazy, bro. Damn, you know all this fucking videos.
So this guy...
Damn, it's only him you know, bro. God. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's calm down. Chillax, chillax.
Guy is rich. Like, rich,
Oh, he's
rich.
that African scammer. I know him.
Now let's call him Quiet Dog. Now Quiet Dog grows up dirt poor in Nigeria, and he wants nothing more than to make big money and have luxury things. So he starts searching for ways to make money, and eventually, as a young dude, he joins a gang of email scammers. It's a group of young guys who get together and they concoct like these Nigerian prince type email scams. So he joins one of these gangs and he works his ass off, sending hundreds of scam emails a day, trying to con people out of their money. And Quiet Dog's good at it, like easily scamming a few $1,000s at a time from people. But over time, he thinks, nah, this isn't good enough. And he sets his sights on a much bigger target. Not people, businesses. So he ditches his gang and he starts building a new team. And they come up with a new type of email scam, which targets mostly American businesses, law firms, small banks, stuff like that. And this new type of scam works, and it works pretty well for him. And he starts making more and more money. But unfortunately for him, around that time, the Nigerian government starts cracking down on these email scam gangs. So he takes a bit of the money he's made and he uses it to relocate to Malaysia. Now in Malaysia, for the first time, he gets access to things he didn't have back home. Reliable internet access, VPN tools, which immediately makes his email scam operation 10 times more effective. And pretty quickly, he's earning more than he's ever made. But Quiet Dog
You look like Jeremiah.
is
Berkeley, don't tell him that. Don't tell him that. Don't tell him that.
still like, nah, that's not good enough, because he feels like he has to show everyone he's making big money. So he starts up an Instagram account and he starts posting about his luxury lifestyle. Mostly just him posing, wearing top-of-the-line brand clothes, nice watches, stuff like that. But it works, and his Instagram starts blowing up. People love his rich guy lifestyle. But Quiet Dog is still like, nah, it's not good enough. Because a few years later, he moves to Dubai, the absolute capital of luxury bullshit. And here is where he steps up his online business scams. And by this time, he and his crew, with each scam, they're making $1 to $5 million a couple of times a week. And this is where his Instagram posts get really flashy. Like here he is leaning on a Bentley, leaning on a Lamborghini, leaning on a Rolls Royce, taking trips to exotic places, flying in private jets, and lots of shopping. And his followers are way into this, like he is such a rich guy. In fact, they like his luxury posts so much, his Instagram hits 2.5 million followers. Now, of course, a lot of his fans are watching him spend millions and millions of dollars on stuff, and they're wondering, what the hell does this guy do for a living? And he always just brushes this off and just says he's a real estate developer. I mean, he put it right there in his Instagram bio. But at some point, brands start noticing his success, and he starts doing brand collabs with luxury brands. Versace, Burberry, Louis Vuitton, and his personal favorite, Fendi. In fact, he collaborated with Fendi so much, on his birthday, they decide to surprise him and send him a cake as a gift. And on the cake is a little figurine of him next to a bunch of Fendi bags. It's adorable. And Quiet Dog loves this. In fact, he's so excited, the first thing he does is he takes a photo, and he posts it on his Instagram so his 2.5 million followers can see it. And that is where he screwed up, because this cake is going to be his downfall. So a week after Quiet Dog's birthday, boom, the FBI arrests this guy. Let's call him the Canadian. Now, the Canadian is one of Quiet Dog's email scam business partners, and the FBI had been tracking him for a while. So they arrest the Canadian and they confiscate his phone. And they see he's been Snapchatting back and forth with Quiet Dog. And at this point, they don't really know who Quiet Dog is, but they find his Instagram and they see all the big money, luxury, Gucci, Versace posts. But the FBI still doesn't really know who Quiet Dog is. They don't know his real name. They only know that he's a really rich guy who Snapchats with the Canadian about this email scam stuff. But then they notice Quiet Dog's birthday cake post. So now they have his birthday. And using that, they're able to trace him to a really old visa application he had submitted to the US years ago. That visa application has all of Quiet Dog's personal information on it. So now they know his real identity and everything about him, and they start surveilling him. And months later, Quiet Dog...
All because of a damn cake, man. That shit
Dog
crazy.
is asleep in his luxury penthouse apartment in Dubai, when suddenly, kapow, the Dubai SWAT team kicks in his front door, and they arrest him. And in 6 other simultaneous raids, they arrest 11 members of his email scamming crew. And they confiscate $40 million in cash, 47 smartphones, 21 laptops, and 13 luxury vehicles. And allegedly, over all that time, he and his email scam group scammed over $456 million. So they extradite Quiet Dog back to the US, he goes to trial, he takes a plea deal, and he gets 11 years in prison. Shout out to Nigeria.
Years. Damn, bro. 11 fucking years. Okay, something new. Don't look at your phone, okay.